Good morning, fifth graders, and welcome to week 4 of our art classes. We are going to do a collage that is about shapes, different kinds of shapes, and geometric or organic shapes. And this is by an artist that did a lot of collaging. His name is Mr. Henry Matisse. Henry Matisse, and there is his real picture, loved paper cutting. And as you can see, there's his assistant helping him with paper because he couldn't stand up very well for a long time to do painting. So he sat down and cut all the pieces. Look at this mess. He just loved cutting and gluing. And he would make beautiful collages. So here is one of his collages where he used like leaves and different circles here overlapping, different kinds of colors, and maybe this grid. It's just so cool, the stuff he did. And then here's another one that he did. This is from a church, and you can see that he made star shapes and leaves from plants. He also did like wavy, simple lines. Boy, that looks like a plant too. And so he also used big chunks of color. There's a big pink, orange, green. There's a half circle up here as a geometric shape. What cool artist he was. So we're going to make our own collage Matisse style. And so what I want to show you is one that I created using all kinds of shapes. Okay? So basically we're going to have all these shapes floating after we cut it. There's going to be positive and negative things cut out. Like this black thing right here is cut out from this black piece of paper right here. So there's a positive and negative. This is the positive and this is the negative. There's these big floating pieces overlapping. There's a lot of overlapping, geometric shape and organic shapes. This is an organic shape which has no shape. That's what organic is. This one looks like some kind of a duck, and there's another rhombus shape over here. So we're using all the shapes and putting them together. Okay, at the end, we're going to have all these little floaters going around. You don't do this yet at the beginning. You just have them floating around. See them? There's my floaters here. They float up in the air. So it's creating space in here. It looks like they're actually floating when they're not. Now, the last thing we're going to try to practice is this. You think, oh, Miss Story, is that a white construction paper? Nope, it's empty right in here. All of this line is completely empty. I want you to try one of those too. Okay, so now I want to show you a 5th grade project that was done. Wow, look at that. Do you see the positive and negative space? So I want you to try one of those tricks. Whatever you cut out, flip it over so there's a positive and negative. Then over here is another positive and negative. Do you see that? It's the same shape. We cut out, but there's blue paper underneath this one. See the little floaters going around? Look at this really skinny piece here. All right, lots of floaters on this one. And the negative line, this space line, that's not white paper. That is the white paper that's behind that you're working on. So I didn't put white pieces here. It just looks like it's partly white pieces of paper floating there. So let me show you what not to do, just in case, so that you can get an idea of what it would look like when there's too much stuff on here. You see that? It's just too much. It's like one on top of each other. I don't see too many little floaters, and I don't see any positive and negative space. So that's not very clear. All right, so we're going to do a start that looks kind of like this. You can pause the video and look at all those examples again and copy any of those. But here I have the line separation. I have an overlap of big pieces. And then I have the positive and negative cut out here. This looks really easy, but it's not. So I'm going to start with a white piece of paper and pick any color I want. You could go this way or that way. It doesn't matter. So let's say I put purple, and of course this is way too big for my project. So I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller, like this. And just watch me for a little bit, and then you can create your own. So remember that positive and negative? So let's say I put, here's that one, because everybody wants to do that star shape this way. If you want to, fifth graders, you can draw it out. It is a zigzag going around in a circle like this, okay? That way you can help yourself with knowing where to go with your scissors. So I go like this, and it can be any color, like I said, but it really does have to be the size of this paper, not gigantic, all right? So I'm going like that and keeping both pieces. Normally, you would say, oh, I'm going to just throw this one away. But no, look at that. What a beautiful piece of paper. And does it have to go straight up and down? Nope. I can make it sideways here. And then, of course, this can be flipped out, positive and negative. Now, I'm going to just give you a few tips on the glue. Yes, it might be a little messy, but if it gets on your paper, it should just disappear. So don't worry about glue getting on your paper by accident, if you're using a glue stick especially. So let's see, how'd I have it? Like this. And I just start with something easy. There's my star shape flipped out. Can I put it in another piece, in another part of my paper? Why not? Yes, you can flip it or put it in another part. So many decisions. All right, so now that's kind of geometric shape. Now I want to do an organic shape. And again, I'm just going to cut a small piece of paper because I don't want this big piece of paper on top. That will make it crowded. You can go smaller than this too, but we're getting bigger pieces first. So here I go again. I can go like this, and I can make that squiggly line here, this organic shape, which is about nothing but just kind of snaking around. I could do the same thing with this again, or I can just put this coming out of somewhere. How about coming out of there? How about overlapping there? How about right over here? So many decisions. I kind of like this, so I'm going to decide to put it there. Okay, then I'm going to do that. Get my glue and put it over here because that looks really neat. All right, remember this piece too? Well, I've got my color orange here. I can use a geometric shape out of this, or I can cut this in half like that and use only parts of it. Let's see what happens if I put this over here. Oh, that's pretty cool. And this right over here. So many possibilities. I don't think I want this. Oh, maybe it goes in here, or maybe like this, or maybe on top. Yeah, that'd be good. And then when you have all this in the background, we're going to do now the negative line. Remember I told you about the negative line? So let's say I'm going to do black this time. And I'm going to maybe go like this, or it could be a sharp line. And if I put it here, I can separate it. Oh, it's like magic. I mean, thank you, Matisse, for fooling around and giving us all these cool ideas. If I do it in half, I can even open it up this way and make like a triangle. Wow, that is so cool. Look at that. I mean, that is a beautiful line. This one again, you can make it a little wider like that. It's so neat. So I'm missing stuff here. Look for your balance, just like we did in 4th grade with the non-objective. Look at the empty spots that you're missing. All right. If you get this far, that's pretty good. Next week, we'll go even further and we'll do stuff like the floaters. Okay. So the floaters basically is doing little pieces that you're going to float on top of your paper. They can be like scattered around, they're overlapping, and it looks like the broken line, doesn't it? And that way you have this thing going on here. You can make hearts, that's fine. Star shapes, you can make letters, you can make animal shapes. So if you have something that looks like a duck or something, that'll be fine. Anything your imagination can take you with. Don't forget to overlap. You can put things coming out of different places. You can stick things in. Like it can go across. You could be part of that. Maybe it's that way it'll be part of this. There's so much going on. Yeah, very much. And see, I'm still having some empty spots. So do the best you can. Fool around with all your shapes and just stay within your paper. And then next week we'll put little tiny stuff to complete this project. Have fun with it. Do both geometric and organic lines, which is just squiggly stuff. And then don't forget big pieces first, then medium size, then these little floaters at the end. Have fun. Bye-bye, fifth graders.